I think it's important that we hand it over to another generation because these stories are myths and they're so indelible and powerful. They'll last, long after I'm gone. Kids will be born who still love dinosaurs. Don't move.
I got a chance to see the movie a week ago now. Loved it.
Oh, thank you.
I've grown up with the Jurassic Park films and all that. I think it's just such a perfect way to, cap it all off. You had the gargantuan task of not only wrapping up your own trilogy of these films, but wrapping up this entire 6-film legacy, multi-generational, 30-year franchise. How much of a daunting task was this?
It was daunting, but I got a long time to think about it. And I had a lot of amazing collaborators, including the actors themselves. Laura, Sam, and Jeff so clearly understand their characters, and so I was able to just listen to all of them tell me in a lot of ways, how their characters would feel about the world that we'd created, what they would be doing, what they would think about each other, and so in a lot of ways we built it together, which hopefully will feel authentic.
You've said in the past that you had this entire 3-film sort of arc planned out from the beginning. Had you always planned on bringing the legacy characters and actors back into it? At what point did you realize this was actually going to happen?
It was always an ambition, but I didn't fully understand how we could do it in a way that didn't feel forced. And that would be, for me, if the same person had called up all of these characters and said, we're putting together a special team, y'all gotta, I wouldn't have bought that. And so we really had to find a way to tell a larger story about the real dangers of genetic power, and really, us facing the consequences of our choices for the past 30 years beyond just, dinosaurs, and dial into really what Ellie Sattler was warning us about in the first movie.
Yeah. Was there a difficulty in bringing the legacy characters, the new generation characters together? You previously just said that, you didn't want it to seem forced or anything. Was it hard to kind of write that, to have that, come to fruition the way it has?
It was, and in the end, we kind of built it together. And one of the big conversations we would have is, do these characters know who they are? Does Laura Dern know that Claire Dearing, ran Jurassic World, and then it all fell apart, and so there was a real interesting conversation of just the notoriety between them. Does Owen Grady, of course, knows Alan Grant? Does Alan Grant know who Owen Grady is? So once we talked that through and figured that out, it became a little easier for us to find the dynamic.
Yeah, well, I do have to say, as a viewer who's been watching these movies forever, it came off perfectly. Didn't seem forced or anything like that. Aside from all of this, what's the most creatively rewarding thing that's come out of this entire Jurassic journey for you?
Honestly, creating new characters who kids love. That's something that meant so much to me when I was growing up. To the action figures that I played with, and they meant so much to me. I am confident that there'll be a lot of kids playing with Kayla Watts action figures and and Owen and Claire, and so to be able to do that, that's probably the most rewarding thing of all.
While there is a definitive nature to this film, lots of threads tied up, there are a few loose threads here. If there was a chance to jump back into this, would you do it? Have you had any thoughts, or would it be the case of handing it over to another generation?
I think it's important that we hand it over to another generation because these stories are myths and they're so indelible and powerful. They'll last, long after I'm gone. Kids will be born who still love dinosaurs. So to me, it would be an opportunity to be able to hand this off to a new filmmaker who's as excited about it as I was, 7-8 years ago. Not that I'm still not, but you know what I mean.
See? Not so bad.
If you'd like to check out more of my coverage from the Jurassic World Dominion junket, or hear my full thoughts on the movie, you can take a look at those videos linked on your screen. As always, don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks to Universal Pictures Australia for the opportunity to take part in this junket.